Welcome to this Blackboard tutorial on deploying a lockdown browser test. This tutorial will walk you through the steps of deploying a test that will require students to use Lockdown Browser. Lockdown Browser prevents students from using information from your Blackboard site while taking a test. It also blocks students from printing or copying the test or using other websites or programs during the test. In order to set up a test to use Lockdown Browser, it must already be deployed in Blackboard. This tutorial assumes that you have already created a test and deployed it. If you need assistance with deploying a test in Blackboard, please see the video tutorial entitled Deploying a Test in Blackboard. This video also assumes that you will not require your students to use the Distance Learning Testing Center to take the test. If you will require your students to use the Testing Center, please view the video entitled Deploying a Lockdown Browser Test, Testing Center Edition. First, I'll verify that I have a test already deployed. Click Tests and Quizzes. Here we can see there is a test that has been deployed. I will demonstrate deploying for Lockdown Browser using this test. To access the Lockdown Browser settings, click Course Tools in the Control Panel. Scroll down and click the Respondus LockDown Browser menu item. The first time you enter the Lockdown Browser area, you'll be offered access to training and other resources provided by Respondus. Please feel free to take advantage of these resources if you wish. If you don't want to see this page when accessing the Lockdown Browser area in the future, you can click the Don't Show This Page Again checkbox. When you're ready to proceed, click the Continue to Lockdown Browser button. Please note the warning shown here and do not change the test name, the Open Test in a New Window setting, the Require a Password setting, or the password after activating the Lockdown Browser settings. Click the drop-down beside the exam name, then click Settings. Select the radio button beside Require Respondus LockDown Browser for this exam. The Lockdown Browser requirement will cause a password to be inserted into the Blackboard test options. Students will not see this password and will not need to know it. Lockdown Browser handles this password behind the scenes. While you have the option of adding an additional password, you should not do so because the test will not be proctored. Click the plus beside Advanced Settings to see additional configuration options. The option to lock students into the browser until the exam is completed is generally discouraged. If a student has a problem while taking the exam, this setting is likely to compound the issue. Allow students to take the exam using an iPad at your own discretion. This setting may work well for a short quiz, but should generally be avoided for longer exams. You can allow students to access specific websites during the exam by turning on the option. You will then define the acceptable domains, each one separated by a comma. Use this option if your exam links to material on websites outside WKU Blackboard. For example, use this option if you have a question that links students to a diagram or chart on a different website. There are also options to enable access to a calculator on the Lockdown Browser toolbar and to enable printing from the toolbar. Enable these options if they are applicable to your test. Unless you have a specific reason to enable them, you should leave these options turned off. Once you are finished, click the Save plus Close button. Scroll up and click Tests and Quizzes. Notice that the name of the test has changed to indicate that it requires Lockdown Browser. Now we'll go back and check the Blackboard settings for this test. Click the drop-down menu and select Edit the Test Options. Scroll down. Notice the password listed here. In instances where a student cannot install Lockdown Browser, this password can be provided to allow the student to take the test in another browser. You should not change this password as it is managed by Lockdown Browser. Click Cancel to exit the test options. If you have questions or need further assistance, please contact the ITS Service Desk at 270-745-7000 or online at wku.edu/ITS.